welcome to the Heather Powell Show. I'm David Holt, and today our little soft-spoken coach, I guess there's too much screaming last night.
Too much yelling, too much excitement last night for me.
There was a lot of excitement last night. So in case you haven't heard, it was our first area game.
First area game, opened up the area swing last night with North Sand Mountain at home. Had a decent start. Got in a little foul trouble, few things here and there. They made some good runs. They've got a really good team, very athletic. They've got some big girls, and they're pretty quick. Got some quick ones too. So they were hard to handle. We ended up having to go into overtime with them and just trying to gut it out at the end, and we did. But it took a toll on my voice, I guess.
Well, you've been sick all week. We had to reschedule our filming of our show earlier in the week, and it's midweek, and yes, she's been a little kind. A score of 93-92. Plainview was victorious over North Sand Mountain in the first game of the area play, I guess is what you say. So we're excited about Plainview basketball with Heather Powell and the girls. Now, before we get started with what's going on, I never have a list of questions to ask you, so we'll just see how this goes.
Okay.
But I was thinking about this earlier today. When we talked last season, you had a boatload of seniors.
Right.
And just a few underclassmen.
Right.
Well, this year is sort of completely flipped. How many seniors are on the team?
Well, we do have several, but it's people maybe who have not played in a couple years. We have Caitlin Shankles back, and she took a little bit of a break off of that. We've got Sadie Wooten, same thing, and a couple that we didn't know, if they were maybe not going to play this year. They ended up playing, and that kind of thing. So, we do have some seniors, but again, we do have a heavy class, like you said, of the underclassmen. So, I think we've got a pretty good mix there. We've got some leaders in the group. We've laughed about it because, the seniors get to make a lot of the decisions as far as, the shoes that we wear and the socks, headbands, stuff like that. The decorative part, or the accessory part,
ensemble,
I guess.
Right?
The ensemble. The court ensemble, and T-shirt design, stuff like that. And so I said, sometimes that's great because all those little minds working together, and then sometimes you go, this would be easier if we had two. But no, I'm just kidding. They're a great group. They really are. They're fun to be around. They love each other. A lot of them play volleyball together, stuff, or softball. So it's a kind of a year-round thing. They're almost, again, just like a group of sisters, and it's a good group. It's a close-knit group, and looking for them to do a really good job leading us this year.
Well, this is 2 years in a row where you've had a good group of girls that seem to get along well with each other.
Right.
Last year's group seemed to really mesh well. So what do you contribute that to as on a coaching standpoint? Is that something you can foster, or is that something that either it happens or it doesn't? I'm just curious.
Well, I think part of that's good luck. I think, and just being in a good environment, a good community, those kind of things where your kids have pride in your school already. So they do come in there having a central goal or something that they are oriented to. I think, I think that helps. And also, we're a 3A. A decent amount of kids, and we're middle of the road, 1 to 7 there, and but we have a lot of kids who do play two sports together, or we have a lot of kids who are in the beta club together, or they share different activities the whole time, or maybe they go to church together, or are related to each other, because we are still small enough to be close-knit like that. So I think that helps. I do think that there's a role that the coach plays as far as, fostering that, outside things that maybe you do with them, or, just team activities, even if it's just watching film, or something like that. So I think that, there are ways to foster that, but I think that part of that is just, it's almost a little bit of a given because of the type of community that we have in school.
Well, and I know you personally, and I think that's really cool, the example that you set with them. Your mindset, and you have a standard. It's kind of funny to watch, and I hope you take this in all sincerity. As the clock operator, I've been doing this a long time. That's one of the refs said to me last night. I am not perfect at it, and I make plenty of mistakes. I just try to be as fair as I can.
Right.
But sometimes I think it was last night might have been the boys' game. I blew the horn when I shouldn't have. You know, they were trying to sub. There was an
Sure.
inadvertent.
Well, it gets a little wild.
It does.
Yeah.
And so I'm reaching for the button, and I'm seeing it hand it to the player, and I blow the horn. You know.
Right.
So, but what I was trying to say with all that is, you and Coach Coker both have a standard that you expect your kids to play to. Now,
Right.
how you get them to get to that standard is fun to watch. You know, Heather is not a screamer, but you screamed a lot last night.
Well, I had to do
You know,
something. It was loud in
Let's
there last
Get a
night.
stop here. You know.
Well, we
and
had a great atmosphere. You know, our kids showed up and they were really loud for us. You know, we appreciated all of that, and you know, so that made me have to yell a little bit louder. But then, you know, North San, it was just it was back and forth so much that really the whole ball game. But I would say, you know, we need to stop. Let's do this. Be big, you know, make a difference right now. Make a difference on defense, you know, because, you know, they were going on a run, and they had some players that it was really hard to stop.
Yeah.
They were hot from the three-point line during the game, so we weren't guarding that well enough.
And I've heard you say, you can't leave her. You
Yeah,
can't leave her.
arms throwing up in the air, like, what are we doing? You know, one of those things. So, you know, I think it's just that where.
I wonder how many people would just watch the coach rather than watch the game.
Well,
you know,
I
that's
hope
kinda
not.
funny.
Please don't. Yeah, I do not want to be the entertainment. Sometimes I'm afraid I probably look like entertainment over there. I know my husband last night, I said, "Did you see this?" He said, "Yeah, I saw you kicking and stomping over there," you know. And so
I think he's probably seen that before.
I think he has, maybe not at the
Firsthand.
house too much, but he, you know, he kind of got a kick. He ribbed me about that a little bit last night, but I said, well, I was just into it, you know, and it was just a great game. It was a great atmosphere, and you know, it's not often that you go into a game and score 93 points. I mean, it's a high-scoring game, and against very good competition.
Yeah.
So you know, we were lucky to pull that one out at the end. So very proud of the girls. I thought that they really showed some perseverance and some tenacity down the stretch that helped us, you know, pull ahead and end up getting the win.
Well, let's talk about a little bit of the off season. We're just starting in with our show this year and the season. There's lots of basketball to talk about.
Right.
But what's some of the things you've done in the off season, camps? What's your theory about getting the girls ready? I mean, when your seniors are gone and graduation's over,
Right.
I know you've got to be thinking about the upcoming season because you're
Sure.
that kind of person. I mean, I know you. I've worked with you for quite a while, and you have a vision of where you want it to go. So, what do you do in the off season to get to that place?
Well, I think, you know, it was hard after last season ended. You take that time after every season. You take that time to say, okay, I'm gonna have to get my mind off of this for 2 or 3 weeks if I can. Last year was a little harder to get your mind off of, you know, than some years. But and we knew such a beloved group of seniors that we're leaving too, and such a large group, like you said. You know, so we, you know, get ready for the banquet and all that kind of stuff. But you also start to, you know, after you kind of rest for a period, you get rev back up again, and you're ready to go, thinking, you know, who we got coming back, what's going to be the theme, what are we going to be able to do well, how can we capitalize on those people and their best abilities, and what do we need to probably work on, you know, what are some things that we need to put together to fit the puzzle and make it work. So I think you start there, and you know, you go through your spring, if you do tryouts, things like that, and then you prepare in camps, and hopefully you know, you do your best to put your teams in positions where they're going to be tested over that period in the summer, so that you can tell, you know, what are you going to do when this is really tough. You know, who are those people who are going to be able to step up and maybe handle the ball, or step up and be able to score when we need a bucket immediately, or, you know, those kind of things. You know.
So that's the whole mindset with summer camps, watching them under pressure. They haven't been around
Right, and then
with
that
this
team
group. Haven't had a chance to really gel, I guess,
That's right.
is what I'm looking
That's
at.
right. And I think that begins to that process that you were talking about earlier, where you do start to kind of become close-knit, and you know, maybe you're in a hotel overnight going to camp, or or it's just really hard because you're playing 4 basketball games a day. You know,
They're
basketball
suck and win, basically,
well,
what you're
intense,
saying.
and they're not in basketball shape. You know, so it can be, you know, it begins to break you down a little bit. So how are you going to respond to that mentally? How are you going to help each other? Are we going to be that team that steps in for my sister, steps in for my teammate, and I'll take the load for a minute?
Yeah.
You know, and that's where you really start to try to foster that mentality.
Now, did you guys go far away to camps, or were you close by?
Well, we were a little bit closer this year. The year before, we had done the beach camp. It's a little bit more expensive camp, so we don't do that necessarily every year. But we do like to take them to some who are overnight. We like to go up into Tennessee. There's some really good basketball up there. So we did that this time. We also went to UNA. And we did one, you know, just at our place, had a team come in and scrimmage with us where we could really, you know, stop it a lot more and try to teach through it.
Okay.
As opposed to the referees have control at the other camps, you know,
Yeah.
which is fine because that's the way it is. But it's a little bit of a structured teaching process if you
Okay.
can break it down like that.
Now, you've got some additional people on this bench with you. I mean, we
I
had a few
do.
bench changes.
Yes,
So
we had
who,
some.
who you got on the bench with you, and what do they bring to the table? If you can cover that in like 15 minutes.
Well, I don't know. There's so much. Probably not. But we are
Just skimming the top
right,
of
just
the cake
top,
there.
just the top. And we're so blessed to have the people that we have around this team. You know, I feel like the girls feel the same way. Coach T, they call him.
And that would be
is
Heather's dad.
My dad.
Tommy,
you know,
right?
Tommy. We were both Coach Mays's.
Okay.
You know, Coach Mays this or that, and then they
You
said,
got
well,
married.
they said, well, this is weird. So they called him Coach T, and then I got married, so nobody's Coach Mays. So now it's I guess that's weird for them too, because the new ones don't know that. Why don't we call him Coach Mays? And I said, well, that used to be me. So I don't know if I could hear that again. That's weird. But so anyway, he's helping us again. Of course, he's just got tons of jobs. He'll say he's a glorified water boy. That's what he tells everybody. And I just laugh and say, yeah, well, that's not right whatsoever.
Because
So,
I see you turning around quite often and saying, what are we going to do? You know?
yeah, I'm like, what is this? What do you think about this? You know, can we go back with this one that's maybe in foul trouble? Or do we need to sub for this one that's maybe, you know, she's been in a long time, but can we do it right now? Or can we change defenses? And they are. I have a great sounding board over there and a great group of people to advise me. You know, I think that's a huge thing for any coach and any team to be successful. You've got to have that.
Yeah.
And we've just been blessed over the years, you know, to have Whitney and different people who've, you know, kind of been in and out. And this year we do have Coach Cofield back, so that's good.
And I've watched him with the junior high teams, and they seem to be getting pretty competitive.
I think so. He does a great job with the junior high. You know, that's not sometimes the easiest job.
You think?
That's
You
not.
should try keeping a clock for one of those slapping, jump
Oh, my
balling
goodness.
things. And I was impressed. They played center the other night and did a
Yes.
really good job.
Yes, they did. He's got them on the right track. It's a great group of girls. We got to keep enough to do a 7th grade team and an 8th grade team. Then they have nights where they play as one,
Yeah.
and they take about 10 to 12 kids to do that. And so it gives them experience. You know, we had to do some cuts because we did have a lot. So that's a great problem
That's a
to
great
have.
problem to have.
I mean, that's
Yes,
awesome, you know, in the
it is.
spring when you have that many kids to come out. So, you know, it's a good thing. I think it shows, you know, they saw him work with those girls last year too. He had success last year. Again, he's got some back now that kind of knew what he wanted and what he expected. So, you know, I'm really happy to have him. He does a lot of good stuff for scouting and different things like that, and on the computer with us getting some things ready. And so I think he's definitely an asset. And then we've added Coach Coots, another one,
A young boy.
a young boy over
First year
there.
teacher. You remember
Yeah.
when you were that first year teacher?
I do, and I remember when he was that high school player. So is that bad? Is that, I don't know, I feel like that
Well,
might be a
listen,
bad.
let me go back further. Your husband I taught in the 4th grade, the
Oh,
5th
wow.
grade, and the 6th grade. And
Bless
I
your
wonder,
heart.
Is therapy going well for him?
I know, right? No, he loves you. He's always said that you're a great teacher.
He's
He
a good
enjoyed
kid.
being in your
Good
class.
And Kyle too. I mean,
Oh,
Kyle
yeah.
was in my class, and also Kyle was a very active in National Beta Club and on the
Yes.
varsity tennis team,
Yes.
and a basketball
Well,
player and
super
football
talented.
player.
Super talented.
Yeah.
young person, and then now as he is matured, is coming back, he is really doing a great job with that JV squad. They played
And
Hopes
they've
Bluff.
had success.
Yeah, so they
already.
played Hopes Bluff the other day. Had a really early game. We all kind of joked and laughed.
2:30.
2:30
I
start.
was there. Yeah.
2:30 start, and we looked across the way. I let the varsity come in, to try to just. I said, well, they're probably not gonna have a lot of people. It's an early start. It's a hard time. And we walked in, and there was nobody on the other side. And I thought, well, I think everybody just kind of came to this side. And then the girls, a few went over the other way, and they were just back and forth. And I thought, oh no, they're just yelling back and forth, crazy, just acting goofy like we do. But we watched that game, and it was tight. Hopes Bluff always has a great team, very competitive, year in, year out, varsity, JV, well coached. And I thought, Coach Coots and those guys came back in overtime, got the win. I thought he did an excellent job, as he has the rest of the game. So I'm really excited about him being there. And of course, he's really tech savvy, just coming out of college, and so he helps us a lot with our online, huddle stuff, the video exchange, all of that kind of stuff. Anything we've asked him to do, he is more than willing to do, and has a great attitude. Loves Plainview.
Yeah.
It's where he's from. I think he's really happy to be back. And
it's funny that he's on the girls' side coaching, his brother's on the boys' side coaching.
I know, and when
their
we say
dad
Coach
is like
Coots, everybody goes,
which one?
Yeah.
Their dad's a bookkeeper, so it's not a family affair.
And mom's a teacher.
Yeah, there you go.
So, I mean, it's just kind of all in the family. So we're super happy to have both of those guys do a great job.
And then you got this little cheerleader at the end of the bench.
Right.
I mean, what is that?
Just a real pretty little blonde girl over there. Is that sure?
Yeah.
You're talking about? She has come back, and it's just phenomenal. She is such a great person. I love having her back around these kids, because I don't know that there's enough, and I have obviously a very personal connection with her as she's played with me. But Destiny Loudon used to be Ridgeway now, which we've laughed about too. I said, well, I might can call you Coach D-Lo, but I don't think I can call you Coach Ridgeway yet. I said, nothing against the Ridgeways, but I just can't do it yet. It's weird for me. But anyway, she is back and has helped us a lot, and she's one too that can get out there and when we can say, you go be the point guard for the other team, like a scout team kind of, and she's still in great shape and can get out there and play. So that's an extra role for her.
One of her famous moves was how she could spin and shoot.
Yes.
And I saw somebody do that the other day, and I thought, she's been working with them.
Well,
I don't know.
That's a destiny. Yeah.
That's a destiny move.
And I think just the character, and I think the appreciation that the girls have for her, and the respect that they have for her, because some of them actually played with her.
Yeah.
You have Olivia and some of those guys that were in the program when Destiny was here playing, and I just think there's an admiration there that she brings. So it's an automatic presence that she has with them, and then of course she is straight out of playing at Lee and has a lot of knowledge from that too that she's sharing with us, and working with us, ball handling with our guards and things like that, our defense and those kind of things that, I think that's, it's just a different perspective, and I think that the girls can respect that.
And also the community support you have from Plainview fans and parents. Lots of times you see a team will come in and they're struggling to find a bookkeeper. That's never really been an issue as long as I've been around keeping quiet. There's always somebody stepping up to be a part of the program and support it. And so let's talk a little bit about the support of the community as they support the athletic basketball, girls Plainview basketball.
Yeah, I think you can see it in a lot of different areas. We started the weight room project. Back a while, we had great support. Mr. Richards, we appreciate him, Ms. Bryant, and Coach Clark, all of our administrators, and really our faculty and everybody too. So we had to raise some money and do some things for that. Our parents were great about trying to work with that. And then we had people like Nathaniel Ledbetter and Steve Livingston, people who were, coming in to help support. And I can't name them all because I would leave out somebody for sure. I know even the city, different people just helping us. So I think that's where you see, even with something like the weight room, it's not out on a court necessarily, but it's kind of behind the scenes getting us ready to be there. Or it may be somebody helping us out with, a meal or something like on the road, or can we do this for you or that for you? I know the girls went out to eat before one of the home games. I can't remember, maybe it was the section one. And I said, well, we're not going to do a meal today. We do meals for road games. The parents come together, and they went out to a local restaurant, and they came back in. And after the game, they said something. They said, Coach, somebody bought our meal today. I said, what? I said, what are you talking about? And they said, well, we went over there to eat, and we all got ready to go up and pay. And when we got up there, they said, somebody's taking care of it, you know. And that was somebody from the community who just said, you know what, girls, we love you, we appreciate you, thank you for the hard work, basically, you know. And that just speaks volumes to what this community is really about. It makes you want to be here. It makes you appreciate being here, you know, because we have been in different communities, you know, a lot of us, and some of the players have been in different places where maybe it was not as much that way. So we do appreciate, you know, everyone that has contributed, because we do have a great bit of support. And as you could tell from the stands last night, it trickled over into the stands. It started with one of the seniors' brothers standing up and going crazy when she was announcing the starting lineup, and then it kind of ended up with everybody standing up, waving towels, you know, hands going crazy and yelling, and
big area win.
And just a huge area win.
Well, we started off this season with a bang. We are 5-0 at the moment. And I know how superstitious you are when we talk about stuff like that, but it is true. I mean, we're at a place to, the girls are buying into what you're doing. You're off to a great start. So let's talk about some of those games. You started off first with 5?
We did. That's always a hard game to start with, it seems like.
Just down the road is where you played.
It is, yes, just down the road, kind of old stomping
grounds.
grounds.
But they're in a newer gym than the day when you played.
So it's not quite as normal to me, I guess. We used to play in the old gym, you know, and I would tell all the girls about, oh, it's the best shooting gym in the county, you know, we're going to shoot great down there, you know. And I would talk it up big, and, you know, of course they would believe me, because that's where I shot the ball, you know, and I would tell them. And so they thought they had an edge on that one going in. I can't say that as much, I guess, in the new one. But we went down there again, really just kind of had to gut it out, so to speak, at the end. Fife has a great team. They are, you know, they're freshman and sophomore heavy, but they have a really good nucleus of girls. They're quick, they're gritty, can handle the ball, shoot the ball, well coached. You know, they're just hard to beat. But we got out with a win, so
that's a good thing.
We'll take it, yes.
All right, next you hit who? We got the book. We had to pull. I think it was Oxford.
All right.
And
Oxford, we'll do this.
Those girls, you did a really good job with them. I mean, I don't think Oxford was as strong as they've been in the past. Maybe that's the way to say it. You girls played really well against them.
Well, thank you. I think that we were ready. We had gotten that first one out of the way. And I think we had a lot of nerves, because we did lose a lot of the team from the year before. So we had a lot of girls that had not played major varsity minutes, who were having to go in and start or play a good, a substantial amount, you know. So I think that was getting a little bit of that out of the way first helped probably with that second game. You know, I know that the coach there is on the upswing. You know, she's trying to build that program back up to what she wants it to be. And I think that we came in ready to play that first home game too. A lot of excitement.
She looked like a ball player, was she?
Yes, I think that she was. We spoke briefly before the game, and you know, she was talking to me about the situation there and just kind of some things with the team she'd like to see, you know, and that.
So when you meet with a coach before, y'all just like nicey to each other? You're
Depends
like,
on who they
I'm gonna
are.
beat your tail. I mean,
I'm just kidding. I don't usually walk over there with the look.
I
You know,
got
I don't usually do that.
So
But
it's pleasantries,
because
right?
generally this is what happens when I have the look, unless I'm really mad. You know,
get
at
tickled.
practice,
Yeah.
the locker room, different looks break out. But usually, I mean, I'm cordial. There's no reason not to be.
Yeah.
You know.
I mean, you're coaching a group of ladies, and they've got to actually play the game. You just have to give
That's
them
right.
pointers
And
to
you
do
know,
better.
I'm going to be intense, and I'm a competitor. I want to win, but we've not tipped it up yet. So I'm going to go over there, and I'm going to try to do the best that I can do, and you know, hopefully I've represented our school well, because that's what
Right.
I'm asking my girls to do.
Yeah,
So I want us to win, and I'm a huge competitor, but we're going to do it the right way.
yeah, yeah.
So that's the way I want to approach it too.
All right, third game. Was that the one you guys traveled to Tennessee? Did you go with us?
No, we did not go to Tennessee.
Okay.
We had section.
Okay.
That's the day that we split. The
Okay.
varsity boys were in a different location. So we had section coming in. They have a great nucleus back. Have a new coach this year. He coached the JV last year, and he's a section guy. He's been there a while, but Stormy Stevens
Yeah.
is their coach. So
Yeah.
he does an excellent job. He's really
Hey,
a great
old
coach.
people, I forgot that I actually worked that game, but yeah.
Did
I
you?
remember.
That's okay. I'm having to flip
I
the
didn't
book
have
right
the
now.
book
We've had so
open,
many.
and you know my eyes are not as good as yours. But,
Well, you know, the glasses
yeah.
with age.
So you were able to win that one again.
We were. We had the lead in that game, but again, you know, playing a very good team there, very well coached. Kind of had to hang on a little bit at the end to get the win, but that was a huge Sand Mountain tournament type win for
Yeah.
us. So we'll have that seeding pretty soon, and that helped us out.
Which is good.
It is good, definitely.
All right, and we got about a minute, so let's go quick. Next was
Westminster.
They're on the building.
They're building back. That was the Tuesday before Thanksgiving. So I thought we came in and finished that stint out well coming into that. So.
And of course, last night was the big win against North Sand Mountain in overtime. And so things are looking really bright for Plainview girls basketball.
We hope so. You know,
And
wanna
we're
keep
glad
it going.
her voice came back.
It did.
I don't know if your husband is happy about that and your
Well,
children, but
He
are
better
the
be.
girls on the team?
The girls may not be so happy, but Luke better be.
So I believe we got a big rivalry game coming up Friday night. We travel to Pisgah.
We do. We need all the support we can get. So everybody show up in Eagle Country up there.
Eagle Country. I think we're all in, you know. Anyway. But thank you so much for watching the Heather Powell Show, and we'll see you next week.